Well, good morning, Venues family. Happy Sunday to you all. We are so glad you guys joined us, whether you're online. Hello, online people. All righty. If you guys are able, if you'd like to stand and join us as we sing some songs. This first one is a new one for us. It's called Child of Love.
Chasing the high line, trying to satisfy my soul. All the lies I believed left me crying like the rain. When I saw light on the planet, I've never been the same. I'm gonna climb a mountain, I'm gonna shout about it. I am a child of love. I found
I belong to you. Yes, I do. Nothing can separate. Nothing can change the way you love me. Nothing can change the way I belong to you. Yes, I do. Nothing can separate. I'm gonna climb a mountain. I am a child of love. I found a world of freedom. I am a child of love. I'm gonna climb a mountain. I'm gonna shout about it. I am a child of love. I found a world of freedom. I found a friend of Jesus. I am a child of love. Yeah. Oh, I am a child of love. Yeah. Oh, I am a child of love. Can you guys hear my guitar? There it is. All right, this one we haven't done in a while. This one's called Bigger Table. Come gather round the mystery of love in our broken history, where grace heals the fall lines in me, time and time again welcomes me in to a house for the hungry, a well for the thirsty. We're all saints, come together, shoulder to shoulder. A welcome for the traveler, new wine for the vineyard. In all things, God is able. Love has a bigger table. Show me who is my neighbor, the Christ hidden in a beggar. 'Cause love doesn't mean a stranger. Love calls him friend, welcomes them in to a house for the hungry, a well for the thirsty. We're all saints, come together, shoulder to shoulder. A welcome for the traveler, new wine for the vineyard. In all things, God is able. Love has a bigger table. There's an empty seat waiting next to me. We gotta make some room for each other. Let my enemy be my family. Fill my cup till it's running over. There's an empty seat waiting next to me. We gotta make some room for each other. Let my enemy be my family. Fill my cup till it's running over. In the house for the hungry, and the well for the third. thirsty, we're all saints. Come together, shoulder to shoulder. Oh, welcome for the traveler, new wine for the vineyard. In all things, God is able. Love has a bigger table. Love has a bigger table. When I walk through deep waters, I know that you will be with me. When I'm standing in the fire, I will not be overcome. Through the valley of the shadow, I will not fear. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. In the midst of deep sorrow, I see your light is breaking through. The dark of night will not overtake me. I am pressing into you. Oh, you're with me in the shadow, and I will not fear. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. You amaze me. You love me. You call me as your own. You amaze me. You love me. You call me as your own. You amaze me. You love me. You call me as your own. You amaze me. You love me. You call me as your own. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Chris. I'm one of the pastors here at the venues, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today, whether you're here in the auditorium or joining us online. If you're here in the auditorium, when you got here, you should have received a bulletin with a bunch of helpful information. If you'd like to check it out during the service, feel free to kind of peruse your way through it. There's a bunch of information in there that you might want to know as the week goes on. Along those lines, if you have kids, you should have already checked them in down at Family Venues. They are having a great time down there. But if we need to be able to get a hold of you during the service, we gave you a 4-digit code. Make sure you hold on to that. And if we need to reach you during the service, we'll flash that code on the display here in the auditorium. Along those lines, if during the service, if you need a break, or especially if your littlest ones need a break, we have the room called the Wiggle Room. It's out by the lobby. And during the service, we stream the service in there so you won't miss anything, even if you or your kid needs to go in there and wiggle around for just a minute. We think connections here at the venues are absolutely critical, and we have several different ways that you can get connected right now. Every Thursday night at 6:30, we have Bar Church. It's down at Mother's Spring in downtown Springfield. It's a great time to just take a deep breath during the week, to catch up with some friends, to bring a furry friend, and just to hang out for a little while. We also have something called Next Level immediately after service today. It's 15 minutes, and it's basically an opportunity for you to meet the staff and get some basic information on how you can connect. And one of the easiest ways to connect during the summer is a program that we have called Dinners for 8. This is a time that during the summer, we kind of take a break from some of our normal connection groups and have people gather at people's houses to have dinner. It's typically a group of about 8 people, and you'll see those signups at thevenues.org, where you can let people know that either you want to host a dinner or that you're interested in attending one. Not only do we think it's important to connect with each other, but we think it's so important to make a difference here in our community. And one of the ways that we're doing that right now is through a tamponathon. Period poverty is real, and we take it very seriously here at the venues. So during this month, we are collecting tampons out in the lobby. If you would like to make a donation to that, you can drop it off in the lobby in the bucket. If you'd like more information about any of this information, the best way to do that is just to go to thevenues.org. From there, you can find out information about our groups, how to give, or how to get plugged in. You can also follow us on socials. And if you'd like to beat the algorithm, the best way to do that is to favorite us. That way we show up at the top of your Instagram or Facebook whenever you open it. If today is your first time, not only can you stop by Next Level, but you can also stop by the First Timers table on your way out. We have a gift that we would love to give you just for saying thanks for being here. With that said, I hope that you'll have a great week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye!
So I've been told that I have to hold this up, and I feel really awkward, and I'm a hand talker, so I'm trying to remember to keep this by my mouth, so ignore my awkward positioning. I'm Jen Bolch, awkward in general, so there we go. Today I'm introducing, and I'm very excited. You might have noticed, big clue, today's song is a Beatles song, and I have been a Beatles fan since I was 3 years old. And my parents were really rude and didn't birth me until after the Beatles broke up, so I came late to the party. But when I was a kid, I always listened to the Beatles, no matter what. And Help was particularly one of my favorites because the movie was super cool, the music was super cool. I'm still not high enough on the elbow, sorry guys. But Help was particularly a favorite. And on that album was a song called Ticket to Ride. And there's some lyrics. And when I was a kid, I used to remember hearing, you know, my baby don't care, she's got a ticket to ride, and she don't care. And I just thought, well, how fun. And as an adult, as I got to know more about the Beatles, Paul says that song was actually a play on words because there was a place called Ride, R-Y-D-E. So it was about a girl leaving and going to ride. John had a slightly more salty and story that I cannot share in church. But now that I'm older, I like to believe that Ticket to Ride actually is kind of a metaphor, right? So we all have opportunities, and what we make of them are our tickets, right? And some of us don't get the same opportunities that others do, so we help provide those tickets to others. And I'm excited to be at a church that, well, first, includes the Beatles, but two, provides those opportunities. And those opportunities come through things like graciously giving what you can, if you can, financially, or time and effort in volunteering, like in kids' venues, or in coming to one of the groups, leading a group, learning more. There's lots of ways to give. So today, maybe you create a ticket and pass it on to someone else. And in the meantime, I will be quiet for now, because you will hear me singing from the front row very loudly soon. And we'll turn it over to the people who really know how to do it. And welcome to Ticket to Ride.
I think I'm gonna be sad. I think it's today. Yeah. The girl that's driving me mad is going away. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care. Said that living with me is bringing her down. But she would never be free while I was around. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care. But things ain't gonna be sad. I think it's today. Yeah. Girl, it's driving me mad. Who's going away? Oh, she's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care. Don't know why she's driving so high. Joking twice just to ride by me. Before she quits saying goodbye. Joking twice just to ride by me. Said that living with me is bringing her down. Yeah. But she would never be free while I was around. Oh, she's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She don't care. My baby don't care. My baby don't care.
That was really fun. Thank you, everybody that participated in that. Oh, thank you. I left my iPad at home this morning, and Denise did a quick run home. That was perfect timing. John Applequist, want to do an encore while I get this thing fixed? I'd love to hear that again. So last fall, Denise and I found ourselves in Italy, which is a sentence I will never get tired of saying. We were on a train. We were in the first-class car. It was quiet, lots of room, free food, and the scenery outside of that window of that Tuscan hillside. It was just like nature hadn't quite finished the painting yet. It was just absolutely beautiful. Except somewhere between boarding the train and finding our seats, I had failed to read the tickets correctly. So the ticket agent came down the aisle asking to scan our tickets, and I gave him my phone. He scanned the tickets, and he looked at me with kind of a sad expression on his face. And he said, "I regret to inform you that you were in the wrong car." And I said, "Well, couldn't we just stay here until the next stop when somebody takes this seat?" Well, he couldn't do that. So Denise and I gathered our backpacks, our carry-on luggage, and our regular suitcases, and we began that walk of shame from the first-class car, not 2 cars back and not 4 cars back, about 8 cars back, down the middle of the aisle to the amusement of all these Italian people. We arrived at our assigned seats, and they were perfectly adequate, nothing wrong with them at all, but they were certainly not first class. I tell you this story because when I think about a ticket agent and about whether or not the ticket agent allows a person to stay on the train or in the car, I do think about the church, because the church has a history of being a ticket agent. Not always as kind as the Italian ticket agent. You're in the wrong car. You don't have the right ticket. Doesn't matter how comfortable you looked in that car. You're in the wrong car. You have to move along. And what I want to say this morning, what I wish I would have said much sooner, is this. I think a lot of people without the right ticket are still traveling in exactly the right direction. I'm not even sure if there's a right or wrong ticket anymore. The entire religious system that I inherited depended on one enormous assumption, and that is, without religion, human beings would be moral monsters. I was taught that morality came from God, that compassion came from our faith, that goodness required the right ticket. So here is a question. Did morality exist before religion? Or did religion arrive first and hand it to us? Question sounds academic, but it's really very practical, and it might change how we live depending on our answer. The version of morality that I was taught, the version of morality that I preached for years with great conviction, most of those years in a suit, so you really know that I meant it, was this. Without God standing over us, without the promise of a reward in heaven or the threat of hell, human beings have no reliable moral compass. We are, and I'm summarizing decades of deep theology, we are a mess. We are sinful, we are selfish, we are broken. And really the only thing that will keep us in line, as I was taught, was this divine surveillance system, as seen on this bumper sticker that I saw. Jesus peeking around the corner saying, "I'm watching you." God is the cosmic security camera. Always on, never blinking, so you really can't see it, but you know it's always there. Observing not just our actions, but our thoughts and our motives. The thing that you almost did last Tuesday, you can't even window shop for sin without it being recorded. We always called that omniscience, that God knew everything. Kind of reminds me of that creepy song by Sting. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every you take, I'll be watching you. Sting meant that song to be creepy, and he accomplished it. He said it was about obsession and control, and he was always puzzled when couples would choose that to be played at their wedding. But that is a pretty good description of what kept me in line. That there was a divine surveillance system, and I had the threat of hell or the reward, the promise of heaven. that would keep me in line. So here's where I want us to think today. If the only reason you're being good is because you're afraid of getting caught, are you actually being good? Or are you just being careful? Real morality is not, I won't hurt you because I'm afraid of punishment. Real morality is, I won't hurt you because you are a human being. You are a living creation. And your pain is real. And your pain matters. And I do not want to inflict pain on you or anyone or anything. 400 years before Jesus, the philosopher Plato asked the question, is something good because God commands it? Or does God command it because it's already good? If good is only good because God commands it, then our morality is dependent upon our authority. We have different authority, we have a different morality. You change authority, you change your morality. But if God commands things because they're already good, then is it possible that goodness is independent of God? That goodness and morality are accessible through our reason, through our empathy, through our experience. Plot twist is the Bible seems to agree with that. Let's go to Paul, not necessarily a liberal blogger. He writes to the Romans. And the purpose of this letter to the Romans is to bridge the divide between the Gentiles, which is a category of anybody that's not a Jew, to bridge the divide between the Gentiles and the Jewish people. The Jewish people thought that they were better than the Gentiles morally. And Paul was writing this to say, we're all on the same ground. So he says, when Gentiles who do not have the law, they don't know anything about the Ten Commandments, they don't know anything about Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, they do by nature things required by the law. They show that the requirements of the law are written on their hearts. Here is Paul talking about people that are outside of his faith. These people don't have the Torah, those first 5 books of the Hebrew Scripture. These people don't have the right ticket. They're in the wrong car. They're on the wrong track. But he is saying they do the right things by instinct, by nature. That the moral law is already written on their hearts. Kind of goes back to that first book of the Hebrew Scripture, Genesis, where we read this thing that the Latin Christians call imago Dei. God created humanity in his own image, the image of God. Every individual, every human has within them the image of God. That means your goodness, the divine within you, is factory installed. It's not an extra that you pay for, an add-on. It's not available as an upgrade. You're shipped with that divine image within you. So if the image of God is in every person who has ever drawn a breath, I'm wondering if the capacity for goodness is really not a religious achievement. It's just a human birthright. You are born good because you were born in the image of God. The hero of Jesus' most famous parable is the Good Samaritan. This is a picture of Van Gogh's understanding of the Good Samaritan. What's interesting to me about Van Gogh's painting is he painted this when he was accused of being the madman, of going crazy in those terms of those days. And he was in a village, and the entire town turned up on him except for 2 people. And there were 2 people in this village who took him to an asylum, a sad place, but they saw that he was sick and needed some help. And so he painted this picture of the Good Samaritan, and I'm wondering if he felt like the guy had been beaten up and thrown into the ditch. I wonder if he felt like the rest of the village had just walked by, like the priest and the Levite had done, but there was a Good Samaritan in this village. This story about the Good Samaritan that Jesus told is about a man who is a theological outsider. He doesn't have the Torah. He doesn't have the ticket. By all accounts, he has the wrong theology completely. The priest that walked by had the right belief. The Levite that walked by had the right credentials. But the Samaritan, not at all. The ticket holders, however, the priest and the Levite, walked by the man in the ditch. The man without the spiritual ticket is the one that stopped. He's the one that helped. He's the one that paid for medical treatment. He's the one that came back and visited the man who was beaten up. Then we go to the Hebrew Scripture, one of my favorite passages of the prophets. Micah asked the question, because we all want to know the answer to this, what in the world does God require of us? 3 things: to do justice. The word justice means to be equitable, to be fair with people. And not just to be merciful, but to be obsessed with mercy, to be passionate about mercy, to love mercy. That would be our default. That's just who we are. We just love mercy, like I love Masso's Pizza. And then to walk humbly, not as a know-it-all, but as a learner, as someone who could be wrong on things. Those are the 3 things. There's nothing in here about a theological ticket. There's nothing in there about saying a sinner's prayer. It's everything about how you and I live our life. No ticket language, no doctrinal checklist, just justice, mercy, and humility. The scientists weigh in on this question about morality and goodness, and the church hasn't ever liked what the science says. Paul Bloom was a psychologist at Yale, professor at Yale, PhD, and he spent his career studying the moral lives of very young children. Children before they could memorize a Bible verse, before they were regular attenders in Sunday school. And Paul Bloom says this: morality is not just something that people learn. Excuse me, it is something we are all born with. At birth, babies are endowed with compassion, with empathy, with the beginnings of a sense of fairness. So long before children can read the Bible or understand a Bible story, they know how to comfort someone who is hurting. Jonathan Haidt is a social psychologist at NYU, and he uses the metaphor of taste buds. Just like we all have the same 5 taste receptors, but prefer different foods, we all have these same 5 moral foundations, but in different proportions. We have authority/subversion, sanctity/degradation, liberty/oppression, loyalty/betrayal. We all have these things: care or harm, fairness or cheating. Everybody is born with these taste reflectors, these moral taste buds. The capacity for moral feeling is standard equipment. You're born with that. It came with you. Religion does not install this. Religion, at its very best, can fine-tune it. So I want us to meet some people who may not have the right tickets. First person I want us to meet is a person at a ballpark. Let's take a look at this video very quickly.
The catcher who made history on the field, and then the fan who quietly did something in the stands. A remarkable moment of generosity. Our person of the week.
Tonight, the extraordinary history made on the baseball field, and then the incredible act of sportsmanship up in the stands. Seattle Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh stepping up to the plate. The crowd chanting MVP. Cal Raleigh about to make history.
Fly ball to right field, number 60!
hitting his 60th home run this season. One of just 7 players in the MLB to ever hit 60 home runs in a season, and he's the only catcher ever to do it.
Your MVP moment, Cal Raleigh!
The history made on the field, but what happened then off the field was quite something too. Mariners fan Glenn Moody Driscoll caught the ball and then gave it to a child in the stands right near him. That young fan couldn't believe it. 12-year-old Marcus Ruelos wearing a Mariners jersey. The two did not know each other, but they took photos together after. That ball is said to be worth an incredible $100,000 to $200,000. The Mariners hearing about what that fan did for that little boy and tracking the man down, inviting him and his family back to the baseball stadium to meet the catcher who made history. Cal Raleigh giving that father a signed baseball and writing, "Glenn, thanks for being a good guy, and nice catch." Tonight, the Mariners telling us Glenn's generosity was an inspiration to all of us. His actions embody the spirit of Mariners baseball, and we're glad we were able to create a special experience for him and his family in return. And right here tonight,
Hi, David.
that dad, Glenn, who gave the ball away, telling us why he did it.
I saw a kid in front of me, and it was just what I decided to do. I'm 100% glad that I did it. And if anything, yeah, just spreading acts of kindness whenever you can. That's a good thing to do.
And so we choose Glenn, who gave that ball away, the young fan Marcus, and of course Cal Raleigh, who made history.
Somewhere along the line, everything got backwards there, didn't it? But the story got through. What we saw here was Romans 2:15 in a baseball glove. I don't know that man's relationship with God. I don't know if he is a Christian, a Buddhist, an atheist, whatever. All I know is he did a good thing. There's something within every person. We could think of the most despicable person, and we may all be thinking about the same one. Is it possible for us to recognize that even in that person, there is the divine image? Be honest, I know, I love it. Somewhere in there. Insecurity and fear and pain. Years and years. You cover that up. But it's still there. Deep within. It's still there. Albert Einstein, I'm trying to do my hair like Albert's. I do not believe in a personal God. A man's ethical behavior should be based effectually on sympathy, education, and social ties and needs. No religious basis is necessary. Okay, does that just get all over you? Or are you thinking, okay, I need to think about that. I need to be open to that. He goes on to say this, man would indeed be in a poor way if he had to be restrained by fear of punishment and hope of reward after death. Then a Roman emperor from 161 to 180 CE, Marcus Aurelius, also a Stoic. He was not a Christian. He was not a Jewish person. He said this, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Just be one. Then Confucius. Does that sound familiar to you? Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself. I can't believe Confucius would copy the words of Jesus. Just stole it right from Jesus. Must have had AI back then. But the thing is, Confucius lived 600 years before Jesus. I wonder if Jesus stole it from Confucius. Or I wonder if that's just a universal truth. I just wonder if that is a universal truth that is inherent within every person. That's how you're wired. That's how you were made. That's how you were born. Carl Sagan A man that I was taught to despise, but I grew to respect and love, said the golden rule is found in virtually every ethical tradition. It needs no supernatural authority. During the Battle of Santiago de Cuba back in 1898, as the Spanish ship Vizcaya was burning and sinking, the American sailors on the USS Texas began to cheer the death. They began to cheer the agony of those sailors. They began to cheer their destruction. But Captain John Phillip silenced them. He turned to his crew and he said, "Don't cheer, boys. The poor devils are dying." Enemy sailors, men that his country had just defeated, Captain John Phillip would not let his crew celebrate their death. I don't know what Captain Phillip believed about God, but from this, kind of understand what he believed about humans. Every human is worthy. Every human is valuable. Their life is worth something. As I read that story 2 weeks ago, I thought, I kind of miss people like Captain John Phillip. Wouldn't it be something if his perspective of war were still considered the posture of a strong military? That humanity toward a dying enemy would be a sign of strength, not softness. And when an administration glories in the death of an enemy, when the administration celebrates conquering a civilization and wiping out a civilization, it speaks to the loss of the divine image of that person. Not that it's gone, just the fact that it's hidden. And here's where I get uncomfortable, and if you've been coming here long enough and know me well enough, you know that I don't like comfortable anyway. I like to make all of us feel a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. And what I'm uncomfortable with, and Denise and I talked about this morning on our way to service, that I'm a little bit ashamed of my profession. And I haven't found a lot in the last few years to be proud of in my profession as I think about the church and how the church has an interest in being the gatekeeper of good. If you can only be good through the church and with the church, then you need the church, and that's good for the church. So the church likes to tell people, you need us to be good. That you need what we have to offer to be good. And it serves the interests of the church to communicate that message. And I don't believe that message anymore. Easy for me to say 4 weeks from retirement. But that's a lot of power to hold as an institution. You need me to be good. You need this institution to be good. And we did tell the world that your goodness is incomplete without us. Then when you consider what the church catastrophically got wrong, if it had the corner on the moral market, it got slavery wrong. It got race relationships wrong. It got women's rights wrong. It got science wrong. If religion was the source of absolute morality, then how did the church get all those things wrong? And what brought the church into thinking correctly about those things? It wasn't the Bible, it was humans. Humans through their reasoning. I'm losing my microphone, I believe. So, Nisi, do you have a mic? Maybe? Because I don't want you all to miss this. Thank you. There it goes. And what turned the church around were people who used their rationality, who used their experience, and who used their empathy to push against that. Humans argued, they debated, and we decided collectively that we were done with cruelty. And when society began to push against slavery, to push against the lack of women's rights, the church pushed back against humanity. Ron Sider is an evangelical conservative pastor and writer. This book, The Scandal of the Evangelical Conscience, is all about the fact that there's not a lot of difference morality-wise between a Christian and a non-Christian. He says that the divorce rates are the same, their dishonesty is about the same, that their charitable giving is the same. It really doesn't make any difference, he said, a person's religion. Rachel Held Evans, who died several years ago, was a Southern Baptist young girl and raised in that tradition. And she was one of the instrumental voices in my evolution in theology. Said the church does not have a monopoly on goodness. And of course, Father Rohr, Jesus did not come to make people Christian. Jesus came to show people how to be fully human. So if the goal is to become fully human, more loving, more awake, and more compassionate, then goodness is not a sacrament that the church administers. Goodness is this. It is something the church at its best helps people discover that they already carry. That's why we're here, to help us discover what we already have within us. But this sermon is not, don't ever go to church again. The sermon is not that religious is useless. The sermon is this: goodness is bigger than religious tribalism. So maybe the goal of spirituality really is not to make people religious, but it is to make people more human, more compassionate, more awake, more courageous, and more loving. So here's the deal. You don't need a ticket to be kind. You do need a ticket to get in that first-class car. And we didn't have it. The impulse toward goodness is not a Christian impulse. It's a human impulse. To feed someone who is hungry, to be with someone who is dying, to give a baseball to a kid that you don't know, to help the person who is bleeding in the ditch, that impulse predates religion, and it will be around long after religion is gone. I used to call that impulse God, and maybe you still do, and that's good. But you also may call that impulse humanity. You call it conscience. You call it love. You call it being woke. You call it the moral compass within. The label doesn't matter to me, because the label is never the point. The point is there is a hungry person. The point is the stranger. The point is the one lying in the ditch. And you don't need a ticket to help. So what do we do with all this? 5 things at least. Expand your circle of what it means to be good. Notice goodness this week in people who don't share your faith or your politics. Don't qualify it, just call it what it is. People on the other side can be good. Audit your motivation. Ask honestly, why am I being good? Is it fear? Is it habit? Or is it because someone else's pain is real and it matters to you? Let's repair what the church broke. That's what I've been trying to do for 30 years. Reach out to someone the church wrote off, not to re-evangelize, but just to say, I see you. Your goodness is real. Stop keeping goodness. Next time you think, well, they're not a believer, then stop. Finish the sentence differently. The man without the ticket stopped. Have an honest conversation. Tell someone that you love who may not be religious, you know, you're one of the best people I know, full stop, no asterisk. You're just good. Think about those things, do those things. Discover the goodness within you that you were born with and express it. There may be some questions that you have about anything. Denise is my wife. And she often, when we have time, will read these questions. And do you edit the questions at all? No.
Sometimes I don't read them, but I don't ever edit them. Well, this first one is a comment. You can be proud of what you've done with your profession, even if you can't be proud of the profession as a whole.
Oh, that's nice.
That was kind.
Okay, who wrote that? I got to buy you a drink this week. It can't be
There
John
aren't-
Hill. We're already. Did you
there's-
do it, John?
No,
We're already getting a drink
it's
this week.
Roseanne.
Roseanne.
Is that? No, it's behind Roseanne.
Behind Roseanne. Oh,
I
thank
can't
you.
see. Oh
Ruben?
my gosh.
No, I know you are. Okay, I think I see you. All right,
Okay, let's get with this.
get with it.
This is kind of going in and out. Maybe we don't need you, but rather we want community. Sharing your spiritual journey with humility is something to be proud of. So maybe just rename the profession with with a title you can feel proud of. Hold your head high, my friend. My friend.
Hey, I will take suggestions for the title. I quit calling myself a pastor about 20 years ago because there was so much baggage with that. So I started calling myself a life coach. Then I thought, well, that's not fair to the people that are trained as life coaches. I'm just stealing their title. So I'm lost. I don't know who I am anymore as I approach retirement.
You've been called a lot of names through the years.
That's very true. My favorite name I was ever called was by an elder at another church yet to be named. He saw a guy in a pizza shop that we both knew, and this elder was complaining about me. This guy came back and told me everything that the elder said. And he said, that Philip, I don't know what happened to him. He's just a liberal. And that was really before I was.
People change. Okay, is it possible that the concept of God found universally across many religions is actually the manifestation and, boy, I don't know if I can read that word right. Is that right?
Deification?
Yeah, thank you.
I know.
It kind of looked like the other word. Sorry. Of an internal, do I need to read this again?
No, you're doing great.
Of an internal moral spark shared by humanity.
That's very deep. You ought to write a book on that. Whoever wrote that, that was very good. I'll publish that this week. All right, one more, Nisi.
I think that's all that came in.
Okay,
So
if you have any other questions, send them to that number, and I'll reply to you this week in an email or go out and get a drink. Jen, thank you so much. I wish I would have worn my Beatles shirt today.
We could have been twins.
We could have.
Right down to the hair. It would have been awesome.
There you go.
So thank you guys for joining from home. We love you and appreciate you today. I do have one quick announcement for today. There is